Good evening. This is Buddy Thayer, and I'm joining you here live tonight for the special edition, the special inaugural episode of Three Dudes Brews. We come to you live on a Van Down by the River podcast.com, a Van Down by the River podcast on Facebook, a Van Down by the River podcast Facebook. We're on a few other things. Just check us out. I'm happy to be joined by my two dudes, this guy
Costas Angaruli.
and this guy.
Ed Patnod.
And where are we at tonight, gentlemen? Where are we going?
So, hey, why not?
By
So
all means,
tonight's
okay.
episode is brought to you by Crooked Current. That was our first stop on this wonderful beer adventure. They are located down at 560 Mineral Spring Ave in North Providence. Do yourself a favor, get out there, say hi, meet Nicole, and have some great beers.
Nicole's awesome.
So one of the new beers she's got on tap right now is a Mexican hot chocolate, which you must have and do not deny yourself.
We'll be drinking it very shortly as you guys watch the show. So here we go. Without further ado.
The technical stuff is not my forte. The beer drinking and the beer making. That's about it.
Beer,
That's
beer
good
drinking,
stuff.
definitely. Yeah.
So, okay, so are we ready?
Yeah.
Do it. I think we're ready. Okay, so hi, my name is Buddy Thayer, and this is Three Dudes Brews. This is a journey into the local craft beer enjoyment and an exploration into deliciousness. I'm joined today by myself and two other dudes, and this is.
I'm Costas Sangaruli, and this is
Ed Panot, how you doing? And we are here at the lovely, awesome, epic, I can't say enough good things about it, Crooked Current Brewery. We're here with Nicole. We are located at the 560 Mineral Spring Ave in North Providence, so make sure you come on out. And again, we're here with Nicole. She is the goddess, the beer goddess, the brewer, the head brewer, owner, operator, and all around lovely person.
Thank you so much. I can't believe I'm your first guest. So go easy on me. Have mercy.
We start off at the smallest but biggest. Like I said, I think I have yet to have a bad beer here.
Well,
So
let me challenge you. Let's go. Let's start drinking then.
that's it.
Okay.
So it's off
All
right.
right, you have 4 beers in front of you to sample today while we're chatting.
It's a blind sample. It's a blind sampling.
Yeah,
It
that
is.
is very true.
We thought it would. Yeah, we thought it might be fun to do. I mean, it's not the most challenging of a lineup today. I think it's going to be pretty. I think you guys are all going to get 100. You're going to score 100. I'm pretty sure of it. So the 4 beers we have, starting. Right, we're going to start this way, right?
Yeah.
That's what I
Now
said.
we don't know the order.
Don't know what's what. I know what's what. But these guys, I mean, I should know. I brewed it, right? So we're gonna start. The 4 options we have our peach and apricot pale ale with jalapeno in there. We have our traditional peach and apricot pale ale with no jalapeno as well. You're also gonna sample the mango smash pale ale, which is, smash is actually an acronym for single malt and single hop. The hop used is Citra. And the coconut Hefeweizen, right? You guys are tasting that today too. So no, and not in that particular order, but let's see if we can guess what's what. Starting with number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I can't wait any longer.
Gentlemen,
So.
cheers.
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 Shalom.
Cheers.
Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas.
Behind.
Yeah.
All that. 4th of July, Memorial Day, we'll get them all.
Memorial Day's coming up, actually.
Oh yeah, I think I know this one. No.
I got it.
All right. How many seconds should we give everybody?
I got it. I think they've had enough time. They've had enough time.
Yeah, I think I know what it is.
All right.
All right. What do you guys say?
Peach and
Peach,
apricot.
apricot, without the L.
Apricot. Okay, we're not going to score this until the end. I mean, obviously, because if we score it now and I say if you're right or wrong,
We're gonna know.
that's going to totally defeat this whole thing.
Peach and apricot with the jalapeno.
No.
You're tasting jalapeno in this. In number 1, you're saying.
All right.
Well, until I
I'm not getting it.
undecided until I try the other.
Okay, so but you're sure it's peach and apricot, you're just not sure if it's smooth jalapeno,
Right.
is what you're saying. Okay, interesting. This is very interesting.
I can
So-
And this is beautiful because it's raw and
Yeah.
unfiltered, just like my beer.
We have off-screen personnel to keep track of our scores and our tastings, and if we're right or wrong, we will find out at the end.
It's great. I love it.
It's going to be interesting.
All right,
All right,
here we
next.
go. 2.
Number 2.
Oh boy. Cheers.
Yamas.
He's looking up your old address. Part of my
Ooh.
age.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm going to go first because I already know. But
Yeah.
I'm going to give my cohorts here a second. You need another second? Because I don't want to start, like
I think I know what it is.
Of those 4, you think you know what it is?
Yeah, I think I know what I did.
Okay.
coconut.
I think the coconut.
I can
All
tell
right,
that
final
used a mile
answer.
away.
Final answer.
Coconut have
Okay.
for sure.
All right.
And believe me, no beer will go left unfinished.
Oh no no
Oh,
no!
God.
But see, we're gonna hype up the curiosity
That's
here.
it.
Keep
That's
it.
it.
You guys see
And again, part of my
see
boarding
what you
house
score
reach.
on your test here.
Oh, that's delightful. That's
Mango.
definitely the mango. Oh my god.
Yep.
Mango, and I'm going for another because
Final answers on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Mango for sure. Oh,
yeah, mango smash.
mango smash.
Okay.
That's like
That's
all day, all summer delight.
All right, and 4.
kind of narrows it down now.
And again, boarding house reach, part of me. They keep going right across her face. Can't do it.
No no.
Okay, so this is that. Obviously, this is gonna be the jalapeno. Initially, when I put it in my mouth, I didn't taste the jalapeno, but after I swallowed it,
You
it
get it on
appeared
the
on my
back end.
tongue. Yeah,
You get
for
that
sure.
nice little creep
Yeah, so the first one was.
And now I can taste
It's not a bad creep. It's
No.
Peach and
not a,
apricot.
hey,
This is definitely
please
healthy.
leave my
Okay.
kids alone, that kind of a day.
It's definitely,
This is so we ran out of this yesterday, but I saved a little bit in a growler because I wanted to let you guys try as many things as possible. And ironically enough, for a place. Yeah.
oh, I love that.
Me too. I did a little TikTok.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It's delicious. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Such a,
So-
so unique of a flavor to put with beer. It's just,
Now that we have a little bit of beer on our belly, I'm going to keep going as we do this here, so feel free to keep drinking. I know I will.
Shall we tabulate the score?
Let's do
yeah,
it.
please,
Let's see
let's
how
do
you
it.
did.
let's start from there.
Okay, number one, you guys said was the peach and apricot pale ale.
Yes.
Answer was mango. It
Oh,
was a
really?
mango smash.
What?
Oh, shit.
Oh!
So essentially, 1 and 3, you guys flip
You
flopped,
flipped.
but everything else, so you know what I mean. So the peach and apricot and the mango. I mean, I think if you had known,
And you were completely wrong. You said something about jalapeno on the first one, and you.
No, I reserved.
Did you
my
reserve?
right
Okay.
to
well,
say
he
it's
did.
all
I already said that. I said, all right, fair enough. We can't be too strict over
Oh,
here.
so I thought I like smelled the apricot almost in this.
So
but
now,
this is mango.
now
Now
you said it and corrected me. I'm
Exactly.
picking up the peach now.
I'm definitely
And these are the nuances, you know,
that's
that's
just
interesting
it.
because they're both on a pale ale base, you know, so it's not like one's an IPA, you can't even really distinct it from that. So, I mean, in all honesty, I think if anything, this really just speaks to the, you know, the subjectivity of everybody's taste buds.
Oh, for sure.
And especially based on, you know, whatever background knowledge, like technical background knowledge you may or may not have, which, yes, lots of people have, you know, dabbled in home brewing, but at the same time, are they really able to discern the differences, say, if I may stretch, between the, you know, Citra hop and the Mosaic hop? I mean, generally not. You know what I'm saying? Generally not. And that's okay. They're delicious. That's really all that matters, I think, at the end of the day, is do they like it? But, you know, so, I mean, yes, technically speaking, you know,
How
they
good-
may be different
how good is
ingredients,
one?
different beers. Yeah, but you like peach and apricot, you like
Yeah.
mango, you flip-flopped them. We did it totally blindly. It's
Both delicious.
perfectly proved kind of a little experiment in general, like a thought experiment on when people, you know, rate beers and things like that, you know? I mean, taste it's subjective. It's totally subjective.
So, with everybody's taste being subjective, everybody likes different styles. What influences your beer choices? What makes you say, okay, right now we're going to go with the mango smash? So, what's influencing your choices as you go about this?
I love that question, especially with these particular beers, because they're two very interesting answers, I think. Well, so the mango. The mango is a smash beer, and a smash beer is a concept. A lot of home brewers, myself included when I started, you know, you want to experiment with different ingredients. So a great, you know, tactic for doing that is, you know, narrowing down your ingredients. So you only have, you know, this hop and this grain. That's what a single malt and single hop beer is. So you can truly examine, you know, a lot easier than if you start adding in, you know, a little crystal or mixing hop varieties or something. You know, now you get more complexity and you can't discern them like we were just discussing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the concept of a smash beer. I brewed it, and then I tasted it and it was delicious. And I was like, I feel like this would be really delicious with like some mango or some delicious fruit. So when I brewed this for the first time, I kegged half a batch and I threw some mango on the other half. So generally speaking, that's how that one came to be. That's how that one inspired me. The coconut Hefeweizen, that is a beer that I was inspired by on my honeymoon. So my husband and I went to Hawaii, and first stop, check in, hotel. Second stop, walk down, put your feet in the water at the beach. Third stop, hit the convenience store to stock the fridge on stuff for your getting ready and whatever on your way out the door kind of stuff. So went into a little ABC store and saw one. Obviously had to get it. I was like, what? That combination of flavors sounds insane. I've never tried that. that is really cool. And I tasted it and I was like, oh, okay, it's good, but I don't
But
really get a lot.
coconut.
There's no coconut. I mean, there might be coconut in it, but I'm not tasting it. I really got this because I really wanted to taste the coconut, you know what I mean? So I was like, well, I'll just have to brew it myself.
You know, that's one of the things that kind of gets
And
me.
thank you very much for doing that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
because-
I'm glad you like it. So
You-
this just reminds me of like my
It is
honeymoon
outstanding.
and everything. When I drank it, I love it.
You pick up both very distinctly, and it's one of those things where, you know, like you mentioned, you get these places, they say, oh, we're gonna do a coconut, we're gonna do a mango, we're gonna do an apple pie, whatever, stout, and it's like, okay, great, and then you get it, you open it up, and this is from those big box breweries, you know who you are. You open it up, and you can't taste it. You can't taste the flavor. Well, we're advertising this as apple, and it's like, where? So, again, this is fantastic. You get the coconut right up front. You can tell it's a Hefeweizen from the yeast that's being used. You can taste that in the background. It's fantastic.
Thank you very, very much.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, when you're making these beers, these particular flavors, is this coming from a hop? Is this coming from? You're actually putting fruit into the beer? Is it?
Yeah, yep. The actual ingredient. In a lot of cases, I mean, you are using far less than you would think in something like Citra Smash Pale Ale, because Citra does lend certain flavors that are accentuated by when you start adding fruit. So, you know, you don't necessarily need to use a heavy hand all the time in certain cases. You know, so hops do play a role for sure,
Oh, yeah.
I guess is my point. But in these cases, yeah, I'm gonna be using, you know, the ingredients, adding fruit, adding whatever. Also, because stylistically, to your point about being a little like disappointed sometimes when you go to drink something that says it's got XYZ in it, but you don't taste it, right? So my approach, my style, I guess, is I want it to be purely, unquestionably evident without being overwhelming. And so that's my goal when I'm creating any of my beers. But I'm not filtering anything. You know, I feel personally that filtration is I'm not really distributing my beers, so I don't need it to be like shelf stable, you know. I'm explaining to people who come in and purchase, if they haven't before, you want to keep these cold, they could, you know, there's going to be some residual yeast potentially. Nothing here is filtered, but I think that is the reason why people who come in and drink these beers say, wow, you really get X,
Yeah.
Y, or Z.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's, it's very bright and it's very, like, you know, evident, but not overwhelmingly so.
I think it's raw. I think it's natural. I think it's organic, and it's not just art on a label. And wow, this can has got this fantastic label. But what's in the can doesn't represent, you know, what's actually described. And I think that what you're putting out is fantastic.
Thank you
I don't
very
think,
much.
So
the
now,
three of us have ever had that.
No.
oh, not
Thank
at all. Never here. So now, that's my next question. So somebody comes here and they taste the draft beer, and it's fresh and it's delicious, and you hit every flavor, and then you want to get a can of it to go home. How long is a can of beer going to last in my fridge and retain the same flavor?
Okay, well, the qualifying statement at the end there is going to change the answer. So, qualifying statement at the end being, and not change the flavor. My customers, I tell them, drink it within the month. 4 weeks max. Like, don't let it go beyond that. You know, so it's just, it's, well, here's the thing. I mean, there is alcohol in this beer, all right? And alcohol is going to eat away at whatever particulates that didn't get filtered that were added. It's going to degrade those over time. It's just, you know, so it's not going to make you sick, but it's not going to taste as good as,
Right.
you know, when you first purchased it. So my customers, I'm like, you know, please get to this within the month. You know, sometimes people forget, it goes in their fridge. With that said, I will say that I do have certain customers who purposely hide my beer in their fridge, and then they come and bring it in 3 years later or something like that. No, but they do. It's fun. It's actually fun to experience. Like, and what I always do is I always say, well, thanks for aging my beer for me. Here's one to replace it. let's open it in 3 more years or whatever, you know. So I don't want them to feel like they're like wasting their money, because certainly, you know, everybody works hard for their money, but it's just a fun experiment. Now, with that said, they're not doing that with something like this. They would probably do something like the Mexican hot chocolate or the eggnog milk stout. So I tried. People brought in 3-year-old eggnog milk stout from 3 Christmases. You know, we pop it open just for fun. You know, a crowler that they've been saving in their fridge.
Right.
And they must have an extra fridge because our cans are not small.
And you-
The 32-ounce crowlers. Well, it's 2.5 beers. That's what I say. It really is. It's 2.5 beers.
You know,
Think
it's
about
about the
it.
perfect amount because I mean, you pour one out, you're gonna drink it. You're gonna want another. So hey, it's
You can have at
already
least-
there. You can pour it again, fill it
Yeah.
up. You know, and it's kudos to your customers who are able to keep it that long in their fridge. Because personally, if I get it, I take it home. It's gonna last a day or 2, tops. It's gonna get dry. I can't.
4 days now.
That's what I'm saying. I see it sitting there in the fridge, and I'm going to be going, when am I opening you? Oh, it's 3 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. Hey, it's Friday. I don't care.
It's
Let's go.
11:35 right now. Cheers.
So, cheers to that. Yeah. If you're ever looking for an excuse to drink early in the morning, get on a podcast.
Own a brewery. No.
Pour it on your Rice Krispies. Not endorsed, but you know, hey.
So I have a question. How did you get started in the brewing industry?
Well, that is the home brewing is where we started, my husband and I. And it was quite a while ago, so there was no real formal training.
But this year is your 10th
especially in Rhode Island.
anniversary, correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you've been
10.
around since
That's
2014.
incredible.
I don't know
Cheers
how
to 10.
10 years went by. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
absolutely. Cheers.
Just-
Oh my
Yeah.
God. You need another beer.
I need another
Where's that growler or the jalapeno? Is it still over there? We gotta get him another.
So yes, cheers.
Oh, I must have put it away.
Cheers to 10 years.
Thank you very much.
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate that.
You're one of the OGs in the Rhode Island craft beer community.
That is true-ish. In the resurgent, or
Right.
the resurgence, I guess, more so than anything. You know, I would say the OGs are more like, you know, you have,
Foolproof.
I'll always
Proper
refer
business.
to, back to, no, but they were the resurgence.
Oh,
Yeah, Dave and I started the same year, 2014.
yeah. Yeah, right. It's part of me.
So, if I don't consider myself, that's why I say no. I say Newport Storm,
All right. Yeah.
okay?
I'd go
Now-
as far back as saying St. Albans.
What was that one in Providence?
I guess I'm
sorry.
just talking Rhode Island, but
Rhode
sure. But no, you have,
That one in
really
Providence.
the OGs I would say is Revival,
Revival.
Newport Storm, Gray Sail,
Yeah.
Whalers, perhaps?
No, they started, I almost want to say, I think they started just before us. Just before us. They were just before us. Yeah. Hold on, I don't want to speak out of turn here. Okay,
All
so I
hopefully
said
coming soon, by the way.
Yes.
Revival, Gray Sail,
Trinity.
well, Trinity Brew Pub, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, and Union Station,
Yeah.
and Gray Sail. And who am I? Oh God, you're gonna have to cut all of this out. This is terrible.
We're not cutting anything.
Listen to me, I am a lightweight, okay, and it's 11:37.
Right.
Forgive me.
There-
My
there
brain
are-
is not.
there
I
are-
have a Red Bull I still have to chug.
There are a few that have
a pick-me-up.
Foolproof
Yeah,
too. I would say you said foolproof. Sorry,
Foolproof,
sorry.
yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Bucket Brewing. You know, there's a few that have come up. and gone.
They were right before us as well. Yeah. So those are. I really wish that I thought about it too. I thought about bringing in. I have this. It's the cover of Motif magazine that they did. I believe it was like 2015, and it was a hand-drawn sketch of all the brewers of all the breweries open at that time. And so you see all these old faces, some of whom are no longer with us on that cover. And it is a blast from the past, but it was 10 years. So it's just going off what you just said, how we're 2014 when we opened. Who were the OGs? And 10 years ago when we started, who was there? You know? And so I was just speaking to that, I suppose. And I cannot tell you, the world was, it's only 10 years, but
Seems
the
like so long
world
ago.
was so different.
Right.
Let alone now if you scale it down to the brewing industry in Rhode Island and how much has changed and how different, it's completely different. now than when we opened.
Right.
So I can only imagine what the OGs think about the difference, because it's like even more, experience that they had, like looking at the world today too, and it's just, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You are the OG lady of craft beer in Rhode
I don't know. I think maybe, I don't even know though. I don't know. I think maybe
Well, you have the smallest brewery in the state of Rhode Island and the highest rated Yelp reviews in this particular area at 4.8, with at least a minimum of 50 reviews. So I think that's
It's saying something.
fantastic. That's
Yeah, for
saying
sure.
something.
It's saying
I
something.
think it
Smallest
does.
brewery with the highest ratings, and I think you should be very proud of the work that you're doing here.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
And everybody's spreading the good gospel of Crooked Current. I know I just brought in somebody new the last time I was in here, and I keep trying to get more and more folks down here. I mean, drink local, folks. Drink local. I mean, if you can go from your house to the source, get it, drink it. It doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't.
And if you haven't been here, it's an adult playground. You have White Dog Distilling, you have Crooked Current, Ming's Wings,
Oh,
you
Ming's is
have
awesome.
A Guy in His Pie. It is an adult playground that you have to visit at least once.
If you like food and you like drinks,
Yes.
you should come here.
Wonderful usage of an old
So-
mill.
Right.
Right off of 95, easy to find,
That's what I said.
plenty of parking. Maybe not at this time of the day, but yeah, plenty of parking.
No, but there really is. I mean, that's true comparatively to some other places. It's way tougher than this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, right?
All right, so now, favorite styles. Ready? Don't think about it. I just want to hear it. Go. Favorite style.
My three favorite styles would be sour, stouts, and something along the lines of the Hefeweizen. So,
All right, buddy.
Double IPA all day, man. Number one, stouts would be second, and sours for sure would be third.
Nicole. yours?
Right?
Interesting.
What's yours?
No, you go next, and I'll go
Oh,
last.
you gotta put me out.
No,
Okay,
I
fine.
like that,
All
yeah.
right, so sours. If you put a sour in front of me, I don't care. It's all day, every day. It's going down. So, and summertime's coming up. You get the warm weather. Anything light, refreshing, lagers, ales. But sours, I'm a sour freak. I will drink any sour. I don't care what you put in. It could be like 50 pounds of habaneros in your sour, and I'm gonna drink it anyway. So.
Now, when you guys all say sours, and I will answer this question, I will, but I want to ask, okay? Because sours is kind of all-encompassing. If you were challenged to now refine that answer just to one degree, I would ask you, are we talking wild ales and wild yeast? Are we talking kettle sours,
Ooh, kettle
on the
sours.
sweeter side?
Oh,
Like, but if you had to pick which of those two,
yeah.
because they do, and I don't think I'm missing any other subsets,
Yeah,
but
my answer
I'm
to
just
that question
curious.
is-
Because all three of you said sours, so I'm curious.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Kettle sours are really good, yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
say
for
kettle.
sure.
I'd say
Kettle
probably
sours.
So you do like the sweeter ones,
Wild
huh?
yeast, wild fruits, sours.
Sure.
Any sour. I think it's light. It's refreshing. It's got that pucker factor that you're looking for, and
Is that an official term? I think it might be.
We can
Pucker
back it.
factor?
if not,
We're gonna coin it right here.
So on a scale of 1 to pucker, with
What's-
10 being your face is now imploding, how do you rate your sour?
I know people who don't like typical normal beer, like the yellow beer, the pilsners, the lagers, but they love sours because it's that different presentation. It's a sour. It's that like the pucker factor, like Costa said. It's like Vigilant. They do a peanut butter and jelly sour.
If somebody
Oh.
could please get me a can of this. Everybody I speak
Oh,
to speaks about this
get a
here, and
draft.
I can't get over there.
Oh my god!
I don't go anywhere. Okay, I
Smug.
like this here, and I'm not resentful about that at all. I love it, but I just don't get out a lot.
Or Smug does like
I
they
taste
do
it.
that cranberry one, right? That what's it called?
seasoned and got sauced.
Right.
No, that wasn't cranberry, was it?
It was-
Oh yes,
it
it
was
was. It was. Sorry.
Cranberry.
Sorry.
And that was like a more super sour. It wasn't
didn't get to
as
try it.
sweet. But like sour is just like it's a whole different definition of beer. It changes like the palate completely.
I would say it's on the fringes, the outside of the norm of beer. versus like say like a Pilsner or a lager, like an ale, what you would normally consider like your macro brews.
Right.
It's almost to the point where you're just barely in that range of a beer, you know, and I think they're fantastic. It's, you know, fruit flavors. If anybody likes fruits, if anybody likes something that's sour, it's sweet. It hits so many different notes.
She has to answer that question.
I know, I'm going to, but I just had another interesting question that I think other people will think is interesting. I don't know, maybe not.
The tables have turned on us.
Try it.
Okay, only just because it's interesting. All right, I just want to listen, diplomatically ask, okay? No.
Build up.
I'm pleading the fifth.
What, you know, you don't have to say your exact age if you don't want to, but how old is everybody?
47.
44 right now.
32. I'm just kidding. I'm
In the range, it
45.
can be like, yeah, all right, so we're all in the same
40s.
generation,
Right.
generally speaking.
Gen X.
Now,
we crave that sour, you know.
we just had you, yeah, but like, all right, so you're talking, and you specifically were talking like regarding fruits, right? Okay. 2014, when we first started, if there was fruit in beer,
Oh, yeah.
if there was fruit in beer,
Right.
okay, I'll just stop there. That's where I'm gonna stop.
You don't have
That's
to
where I'm
say it.
going to stop. Now, I'm also coming at this from entering an industry, you know, as a female. Now, never was slighted, never felt slighted, never felt singled out, ever. In Rhode Island, our beer group, like our entrepreneurs and anybody in the industry, there is no misogyny, there is no, you know, nothing. It is
Yeah, it's
so
refreshing to them.
comfortable and welcoming. I can't tell you how many of my colleagues have helped me out in jams. Like, it's no big deal. Like, they would do it for anybody. Like, it's not, but what I am saying is, you know, the craft beer drinkers during that time, and as a result, you know, anybody, I think, generally, I'm not saying everybody, and there was none, but what I am saying is there was a certain, let's just call it, attitude towards beer with fruit as being more of a feminine enjoyment beverage, let's just say. I'm being very careful, be very diplomatic with my words. If anybody is triggered or offended, please accept my apology now. I am not trying to trigger or offend anybody. I am simply pointing out that it is quite interesting.
But that was the
because
marketing at the time.
3 people in this group 10 years later, and I listen to it, and I've been in this industry and more focused on these things than the average individual. So it's just something I find as an observation to be quite interesting. And I would say, I think other people would think it's interesting too. But also another interesting thing, that's why I asked your age, because 10 years ago, when we first opened, so in 2014,
When we were in our 30s.
yeah, exactly. But to that point, I just thought about this the other day. 10 years ago, anybody who is 21 and legally able to drink right now, walk into my establishment and get a beer. What were they? 11? Or 10? They were 10? Because they'd be 21.
They'd be
That's
20
10.
they'd be
No,
11.
they'd be 11 because we're 10. Yeah, I don't do math. I use a calculator. I promise.
She shut up.
I do not. Yeah, no, shut up. I'm here all day. I'm fine. But isn't that interesting? So, like, I don't know. I thought about that. I'm like, how do you even relate to that age group? I don't even know. They were 10. It's not. I've been around for 10 years. Like, they don't know who I am. That's weird. They were
So,
10. I don't know. Anyway, weird thought.
Go ahead.
How do you feel that styles and tastes have changed over the last decade?
Oh, there you go.
Well, I think you just exhibited it perfectly how they have.
I personally have never been an IPA fan, single, double, triple, quad, anything along those lines. That's not me, but I am all about the sour trend. I'm all about the stouts, especially like wintertime, and you get your pumpkins, your maples,
I got a point tonight,
seasonals.
so good.
I absolutely love.
So,
So
I'm going to cut you off for a second. You said a key word there. You said trend. Do you think the sours are a trend? Do you think it's a trend, or do you think it's going to long last?
I think that the sours are here to stay. I think it opens up the beer market to a different demographic, younger, demographic, female demographic. People who are not looking for a Pilsner, a lager, like a German style beer. And I think that it gives you more, the fruit on your palate, it's pleasing. So I think that,
It's a gateway beer.
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's a gateway
good
beer.
term.
Nice.
Is that an official term?
We're gonna make it one.
Pucker
We're gonna
factor,
trademark
gateway
that.
beer. We're coming up with new
Hashtag
trendy words. That's
So,
what we're doing
I
here.
mean, you know, I think about when I turned 21, or a little before, and I don't drink underage. 21. I hated beer. Why? Because you had the same stuff coming out from every single place.
It was your grandfather's beer.
It was your grandfather's beer. It was old people drink. You know, you raised up and it's like, no, you don't drink that. That's old people. You know. But then when the craft beers really started to come about, you start hearing more. I mean, we have the Sam Adams, obviously, in this region. You know, that was the biggest one. It was a different flavor. It was a heavier, more distinct note. It was something that it was considered an acquired taste.
Mhm.
You know, not everybody liked it. You had the watered down versions of what they called beer. It was slapped the label on it and just said beer.
Right. It wasn't
So-
a white can with the black letters on there.
You know, so do you think
Like on The
nowadays,
Simpsons or whatever.
the younger generation, the sour could be their gateway beer? It's the one that they go to first because I think they can relate more to the taste. I mean, let's face it, you know, they're the Sour Patch Kid generation, right? Everybody grew up eating Sour Patch Kids. Oh, so we have a beer it's similar. It's sweet, it's sour, it's great. It's okay, we're going to drink this and maybe, hopefully, move on to something more complex.
Well, plus those kids are probably starting out drinking kombucha for like health reasons.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's a gateway to the sours, and now you can totally relate to
And
the
there you
sour
go.
thing,
Now
right?
we'll see
Right.
what
So I think
alcohol
for sure
to
they're
that.
here to stay too. I would agree with that
Good.
for sure.
I think
And
the
as
flavor-
well they should.
I think some of the
I think-
flavor combinations.
Yeah. And I think fruit has always been at home in a beer.
Right.
I mean,
If you look at something like a limerick,
yeah.
that style of beer is you know, very ancient and old and is based off of fruit and wild yeast. And how can you say that it's not a legitimate style of beer?
Exactly.
You know,
I agree.
It's been brewed for hundreds, if not thousands, of years.
Yes, that was the original. I mean, and that's the other thing too. You know, that whole idea and that concept of how it originated, right, way back. It's like
Who's
it
to say
wasn't
that the rules
commercialized.
can't be broken?
Yeah. Or why should you always? I mean, you should follow some rules, but.
So, like you said, yes, you got to follow some rules because otherwise
Oh
it's not,
yeah,
it's
right,
not
right,
going to
right.
turn out
Follow
at
the
all.
rules. Follow the rules.
So you
Yes.
got to follow
Okay.
some of them, otherwise you're going to end up with
Yes.
something you did not expect to
So-
be drinking.
In following the rules, like I gotta ask because I drink sours and people are like, dude, that's not beer. Or like I'll have like a stout and they're like, it's so dark and it tastes like what does it taste like? I'm like, it tastes like a chocolate peanut butter bar. Well, dude, that's not beer. Because people think of beer, they think like you say,
As your grandfather's beer.
as your
that's-
grandfather's beer. It's like I used to drink Buddy Lights and like Miller Lite, and then I graduated into Sam Adams, then I graduated into Ballast Point, and then a friend of mine took me to like, he's like, let me know when you're ready if you want to drink good beer. This is like probably about a decade ago. We went to the old Tilted Barn where it was just a guy's barn and a guy's house, and his kid was selling Girl Scout cookies out front. You had to wait in line, and 1 o'clock opens and they start selling beer, and it was the most like refreshing. I remember drinking the beer. It was the other half. I'm like, oh my god! It was just like a
awakening.
renaissance.
Yes.
Like, oh my god!
An
It's such
awakening.
an awakening of great taste and great beers. But there we went, Buttonwood Brewery. We went the old Long Live, and we went to a Proclamation, the old Proclamation in North Kingston. It's like such an amazing journey. But what defines people like? Well, look at me and it's like, oh, that's sour. That's a fruity beer. That's not a beer. That's a girl's drink. What defines beer for you? Where's the boundaries for beer?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. I mean, I think they're always evolving. I don't know. That's my answer. I really do. And I think that's because society is going to dictate. You know, the customer base is going to dictate.
True.
Really, at the end of the day, if you think about it logically and very objectively,
Yeah.
you know, what are people purchasing and wanting to drink? And like, you know what I mean? Obviously, after I think the two biggest qualifying things that make beer, it's carbonated to some degree and not even a lot in casks, for example. That natural, you know, carbonation that takes place, it sits in the cask and re-ferments a little bit. You know, you pop that little bung in there and you serve it off the cask, and it's natural carbonation.
But it doesn't have to be yellow, right?
It doesn't, I don't know, of course not, because stouts and porters, you know, that's an old style, so I don't think, color,
It
no.
doesn't have to be clear. Your
That's
beers
another
are
thing.
unfiltered.
It wasn't originally, I mean,
Oh,
that
sure.
is, and I feel like, you know,
It's
that
an
is.
industrial thing.
It is, I think it's
You know,
an
it's a
industrial
marketing thing. They wanted it to, it's
To
got to look
sell.
pretty, and it's
It
like,
does
it's got to be,
sometimes, yeah.
see through, and that's what they wanted. That's not what we want. We want something that's how it was made. You
More
made it, you
original to its.
pour it, drink it.
Where do
Yeah.
you see the market going?
You know, I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think is in the future? What is ahead?
Well, I mean, sours have definitely gotten a lot of attention. You know, so that has been something that's
I
changed.
love my sours.
Yeah, so I'm sure that'll continue. I don't even know what new thing anybody could come up with. I have no idea. Well, actually, hold on, wait. I mean, probably, especially when it comes to Rhode Island, at some point, I don't know when or if, probably not for quite a while, but at some point, you know, you're going to have the, you know, cannabis infusion. I don't know how you're going to really be able to get it.
Somebody did that.
Well, it's going to be a state regulation.
That, right? With Nova Farms. It was.
Well, 21 plus, so.
But those things are regulated completely different, like at the federal and state levels, and
You
they're so
definitely
highly
outside the
regulated
area.
that I really don't know. Like, I cannot imagine knowing how Rhode Island is with changing and progressing and improving legislation, how slowly that happens and how much money it takes to
Yeah,
do.
I was gonna say the price point on that.
Because the Brewers Guild, we have been pushing for so much legislation change over the years, but we are funding that through beer fests. Please, everybody, if there's one beer fest that you go to in the entire course of your 365 days, please make sure it is the Ocean State Brewers Guild Festival. I mean, that is the.
Where is this located?
It changes every year.
Okay.
A different Rhode Island brewery hosts it every year. So this coming year is going to be at Providence Brewing.
Okay.
And I do have the dates in my calendar somewhere. I'll bring it up, just to
Google
plug
it.
it at some point.
PVD Brewing on 6th Street.
Oh.
Wait, no, it's Providence Brewing. Wait, oh, is PVD, I'm so sorry, is that what their logo says? I don't know.
I don't know.
Providence Brewing with the Bulldog guy, that's their logo, Bulldog.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
helmet on it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
forgive us,
sorry,
Providence
please do
Brewing.
not judge me.
We love you.
You know what I'm trying to
You
say.
know, we get that.
The point is that is the Rhode Island only brew fest, right? So it's only exclusively Rhode Island breweries, which is a very special thing. Secondly, every single one of us is bringing something special to that one only.
Sold.
I mean, we're all bringing something exclusive,
exclusive beer
special,
for that fest.
or we might be releasing sometimes, depending on like the time of the year. One year, when it was at Proclamation, I brought my pumpkin maple. I released it on the Saturday, but then the Brewfest was on Sunday, so it was still brand new, you know, for the season. So anybody who came to the Brewfest got to taste it there for the first time. Like, stuff like that. It is very special.
Another incentive
It-
to make sure you get out and drink local.
Yes, and if you are a true Rhode Islander at heart and you're like, oh, well, you know, I live here and I'm never going to make it over there,
Drive more than 15
go to the
minutes.
festival,
whatever.
then you can go to the one festival and get us all in one spot, and that's the only time of year you can do that.
Look at that. You don't have to go all over the state, which you should be.
And
anyway.
it will help us fund the
Get out of
passport
the house.
program that everybody has on their phones now.
Yep.
You got, you know, that app costs money to build and maintain, you know, so these are, you know, we are generating
Support your
funds
local
for craft
community and
beer
local brewers.
in Rhode Island by going to that festival. So, and it always sells out because it's limited tickets. But because it's limited tickets, small lines, okay? Not like, listen, I'm not trying to say that I'm bashing any of the other festivals,
Right.
okay? Just because I'm saying and highlighting what's great about ours does not automatically mean I'm saying something about anything else, whatever. It's your money, it's your decision. But what I'm asking, I suppose, or proposing is to consider the best aspects about this festival in particular, because it does help promote craft beer in Rhode Island and Rhode Island business.
And they're all going to be special. They're all going to be specially for this event or whatever. So you're going to try things that you may not be able to try in the actual breweries. So it's a one in a lifetime experience, so why not?
More of a reason to go,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
So on a completely different. You ready for this?
Okay.
Let's do a little segment called My First Beer. I remember my first beer. What was your first beer?
I was probably 8 years old, and it was a Michelob.
Ah.
I was about 9. I was at the fishing in the Woonsocket River at the Greystone Social Club. They had just had an event the night before, and there was a warm Budweiser, Bud Heavy, if you will, sitting there on the ground. We picked it up. I mean, a couple friends had cracked it, drank it. It was like, oh, this is horrible. I'm never going to drink beer ever again. There I am!
Well, all right, so I'm going to throw my brother under the bus for this one because he managed to sneak home a Budweiser Red Dog. Remember Red Dog?
Yes.
I remember Red Dog.
Right? I don't know how he did it. He managed to sneak it home, gets it, hides it in the fridge somewhere, and next thing you know, we both have some of this, and at the time, again, got awful. Hated it. Couldn't stand it, and look at me now. So, what was yours?
I'm not confessing any of them.
Ah, see, I'll let it out there. We did things we weren't supposed to do when we were younger.
Yeah,
Let
there
it
might be
go.
a Mad Dog
So-
2020 between the matches.
Hey, it'd be worth some money, probably. Memento, a souvenir, whatever, collectible.
What was your first beer?
Oh, definitely Bud Heavy, 100%. And I loved it. I mean, I loved it in that my grandfather, who is a fisherman, so when he came in, I mean, when he was fishing, when he was not fishing, you know, but when he was in from fishing, he was my bestie, okay? We were besties. He had this saying when he would hand me a beer, and he'd say, Grampies are swell because they don't tell. And he cracked the can
That's
and he handed it to me.
That's awesome.
And we cheers and we would drink. And he would net, he did netting for the lobster traps. So he would be netting and drinking his beer for extra money when he wasn't fishing. So I would be out in his garage in his building and I would be drinking beer and doing my coloring book while he's netting
Grabbie's fixing
for
lobster
the
traps.
lobster pots.
I'll tell you, if nothing says Rhode Island like that, there's nothing else out there. Okay,
So where are
folks?
you originally from?
Narragansett, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up there, yeah, and my family still lives down there. But yeah, so it's fond memory, and that's
So-
how
so
I always
beer-
like beer
So
for
beer
that
brings
reason.
back fond memories of
Yes.
family and friends.
Absolutely, and that's what. So my whole family always drank too. My mom, when I was growing up, when I turned 21, because she always drank beer. So I always stole whatever was in the fridge too. She likes Coors Light to this day. God bless her. I mean, hey, a nice cold Coors Light if you're thirsty.
That's it.
Hell,
It's better than
who
no
can-
beer.
who can
It's like
refuse it?
water.
On a hot day,
Yeah.
come on, you know what I mean? All
Mow
right.
the lawn.
Yeah, certainly not a nasty, like in the middle of summer, side of the riverbank, warm but heavy. But, a cold, ice cold Coors Light when you're really thirsty on a hot day. But anyway, so she we had this whole thing because my mom's an awesome cook. So I would bring home a couple of mix of sixes because we lived in Narragansett and Wakefield Liquors
Right.
was the place to get all your craft beer at the time. I mean, they have always had such an awesome craft beer selection even then. So, like Sea Dog Blueberry used to be one of my
Yes.
favorites. Like, and that stuff that sits on the shelf for however long and it still tastes great. I don't know what's in it, but it's definitely very shelf stable. I know that. But like that, I'd put that in there, and then I just look at the labels and I'd pull. And every Friday, she would cook. I would bring the 6-pack. I mean, we lived together. I lived with her. I was still, 21, living at home, of course.
That's all right.
But anyway, yeah, that was fun. So always beer. Plus, you don't get as loaded with beer.
Right.
I don't necessarily, I like to drink craft beer in general because you can drink more of it. And so you have more fun for a longer time before you pass out or, hugging the porcelain throne or whatever else,
I think
Anyway.
I think at our age, it's more quality versus
Quantity.
quantity.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I'd rather spend my hard-earned money on something that's going to bring me pleasure and enjoyment versus going and buying a 30 rack of any kind of macro, brew. This here brings me enjoyment.
Oh, for
Thank
sure.
you.
It's-
I mean too.
It's so much better. Quality versus.
You are a sunshine bringer. You are a raiser of spirits.
And as hard as this industry and this job and all of that the reward is well worth it. And when I say reward, I mean like this kind of stuff, but like chatting about beer. And I'm not even trying to be
It brings
like
people together, not
cliche.
to be corny.
I'm not. I'm really truly being so honest. It's like not even funny because like this is not an industry you get rich in. It's highly regulated.
Okay.
It's taxed like to the nines,
So
you know.
that leads me to a question. Is this your normal 9 to 5 job, or do you do something else?
Yes, it is now, yeah. After the first year actually. Since after the first year.
So you were all in.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, my husband and I. He was the one that said I think it's
Now
time to
you and
quit
your
your job."
husband are the ones that started this off.
Yep, yeah. So we own it and we operate it with the help of our friends and family who are rewarded with beer.
Nice.
Wow. I know, right? I mean, if I can get beer, why not?
You know, it's a small operation. We do have limited hours, but
Have you thought about expanding your hours?
well, we did right before COVID. I mean, in the middle, that happened basically right in the middle of our tenure. And so it's crazy. That was wild. Owning a business, anybody who owned a business, any business, during that time,
Congratulations on surviving.
and like survived because a lot did not. And, you know, that's physically and business wise, you know, like I'm just, yeah.
It hurt a lot of people.
It really did, and that's terrible because so many people put, you know, and it's not just our industry, but like a lot of industries, you know, they put everything, their whole life, their life savings, maybe even the savings of their children's college funds and stuff like that to try to survive. And if they still couldn't, then like they have nothing to show for it. I mean, they have memories, sure. But aren't those memories going to be so gut wrenching because you know you think about what I don't know. I just think how I might be if I were in that position. I try anyway, and it really is a lot. It brings a lot of perspective. So if I didn't already feel like the reward was truly and honestly like being with the people, talking about my art. It has never been lost on me, but after COVID, it did take on a new meaning, if I could put it that way.
So, to swing this on a less depressing.
I know, I don't know, it's
no,
like,
that's,
hey.
I mean, everybody, we're talking about the dark times.
Yeah, I know.
Situation.
Over the course of 10 years, wow.
So, swinging on the other side now, what would be the craziest beer you could think of to try brew? Like your pie in the sky, like, I don't care if anybody's gonna drink this, I think I could try this.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Put it on the spot, folks, sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, you know, when I think of something, I just brew it. So I don't know if there's anything crazy that I haven't ever
What's your
brewed that.
inspiration?
Well, I mean, all different.
We know about your Hawaiians.
Yeah, it just depends.
And that
It
was an
depends.
inspiration for your coconut.
Yeah, it depends on the beer.
awesome.
I don't know. Some stuff is more meant to be of a crowd pleaser. Some things are inspired by
Oh, yeah.
personal experiences. And so it's like a mixture. So if I'm ever inspired by something, I guess I don't know, something crazy that I don't think people would like. I don't know of one. I hope that everything I think of that people will like.
Well, what is your favorite beer that you make? If you had
yeah.
to make one and you drink it yourself, which would it be?
I mean, I definitely have a contender for the top two of my personal favorites.
What's the top three?
Top three? All right. Top three of my own. Strawberry blonde.
Red, white, and blue? Is that what we're doing?
No.
No.
No, God, you want to tell me what they are? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm teasing. All right, I'm sorry.
All right, number two.
I joke. No. Don't listen to me.
I'll see you on the 4th of July.
I know, but that will be on 4th of July. This coconut hef, which is relatively new, I only started brewing it last year, but I love it so much. And I would say the pumpkin maple ale.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good.
because I am such a pumpkin, insert whatever adjective you would like. I would choose explicit language if I could to explain and express my love of all things pumpkin.
So we are
But-
uncensored here on Three Dudes.
Oh, are we?
Pumpkins. Now you brought up a great point.
Point of
and
contention,
I
maybe?
love to talk pumpkins.
He's even organizing the process.
Because I'm like
In
anticipating.
case you haven't
this.
noticed.
Yeah.
So, pumpkins. People love to hate. And now part of that, I think, is marketing because now we're
Are you
getting
wearing
pumpkins in like June. Am I wearing what?
Uggs.
I am not wearing Uggs. No Uggs here. Now,
It's an unfree zone.
I think the big box folks are to blame for this because now we've got pumpkins in like June. For the love of God, save pumpkins for the fall. But with that being said, I have not yet had your pumpkin.
What?
So,
How is that even possible?
bring on
Edward.
October.
Edward.
So,
Shame.
I will hang my head, I'm sorry.
Hang your head.
No, don't. No, it's okay.
But I am looking forward to the following fall and coming back for pumpkins. Now, do you drink pumpkin beers?
Yeah, you gotta be honest. Don't
Honest
don't
about
like
it, 'cause-
censor it just because
no.
I'm here. If you hate them, just say it.
I am not a big pumpkin fan, but certain ones are, I hate to use the term acceptable, but certain ones are palatable.
Why do you dislike them though?
As he sits on his throne.
I know.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Down
kidding. I'm
as
kidding. I'm
pumpkin
kidding.
lovers.
I'm kidding.
Why do you dislike them?
I just, the flavor of it, it's the whole squash. I'm just not a big
Oh.
fan.
No squash on Thanksgiving. No butternut squash. No pumpkin
Yeah, well, as
pie.
I've gotten older, my tastes have changed, so I will definitely do like a butternut squash. I love pumpkin spice. Maybe it's just the, I don't want to say the stigma of it, but just the, I don't know.
I'm seeing shaving
Get
off
out.
camera. I'm seeing some heavy shaving
Oh
of the
my
head.
We
god.
go to this
So,
channel.
buddy.
Oh,
Now, your strawberry shortcake. One.
Oh, you like the
Hold
short
on, we're
cake.
talking
Yeah,
pumpkin.
I know. I know.
Hold on.
I know. He's
Don't
trying to
try-
divert.
he's trying to
Diversion.
Hold on,
This is like
Marcus.
diversion tactic.
No.
Let's talk about strawberries.
So no, we're not.
We're talking about pumpkin sauces.
buddy.
I love pumpkin beer. I love your pumpkin maple. I love, like, Oktoberfest comes out in August. Give it to me. I love Pumpkinhead by, was that Chip Yad? I love that.
Pumpkinhead.
Chip Yad. Taproot, which we're going to, I think in July, they have a pumpkin, what is it? It's like 14% alcohol by volume. It knocks me on my ass. It's pumpkin, holy shit, pumpkin. I love
Say the wheels are off, folks.
pumpkin
Yeah.
really hits, like, there's so many different,
Well,
So many
over
different
the
great
years, my
pumpkin
palate has
beers.
changed, and I've come to accept pumpkin.
It's not,
I think that what was on the market at the very beginning was not very good pumpkin beer, and I think that's what spoiled it. But when you come across something that's fantastic, right? So like you're looking at like a macro brew, and then you try an ale or a lager, and then you try something else's. You're like, this is actually what it's supposed to be like. Like, holy smokes, this is fantastic. And then you're like, what have I been doing with my life?
right?
So if I pour you a pumpkin right now, you're gonna drink it?
Absolutely.
Oh my
Well,
god.
hold on. I have
Oh.
an even better challenge.
Look at me.
What you guys need to do this
Depending
fall.
on who made the pumpkin.
Okay, you need to have blind taste tests and get a bunch of different pumpkin beers and have a
Yes.
blind taste test and see.
You heard it here first, folks.
I think that'd be fun for you guys.
Tilted
For
has
you
Jack.
especially.
We could do that.
Yeah, there's plenty of pumpkin beers. That's another
So many
thing.
good pumpkin
And
beers.
that's another thing.
I'm a blueberry guy, so you give me blueberries.
Down
I
east?
will give you blueberries. We
Down
have
east
blueberries.
has a-
Blueberry
We
fruit,
still gotta get to the
blueberry
middle.
roll.
Down
Now,
east?
I understand you brew it. Now, do you like them though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want pumpkin at 365 days a
All the
year.
time.
I like it in my lotion, in my beer,
Yes.
in my food,
Candles.
in my candles,
Right.
in every single aspect of my life. I love it.
Have you thought of brewing an off-season pumpkin?
Ooh, no.
No.
I haven't because
That-
all right,
that
hold on.
business,
No,
right?
but that's it. Yes, though. Yes, though. I know. Okay. So there's the answer to your question. The craziest thing that I can think of that I could brew that maybe nobody else would like a pumpkin off season because I would like it, and it is wild and crazy.
It is.
So it qualifies your question. So there's my question. No questions left unanswered around here. Total, full, candid, honesty, and open.
So what is your least favorite beer?
Well,
Do you have one? You don't have to throw anybody under the bus. We don't
I
have to do
am
that.
trying still to
Or a particular style.
acquire a taste. There's a couple. I'm never gonna say no to one, but I am working on acquiring a taste for Rausch beers. Yeah.
I don't think I'm even familiar with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Well,
Describe
now I
Rausch
just
beer.
sound like a nerd.
No. Describe Rausch beer for me.
I
What's
don't know
it?
exact, but it's very smoky and it's German.
Okay.
I mean, I know I've researched it, but like I
Not
can't.
fun.
It's, well, I don't know anybody does them locally. I don't, and they may, but I don't know offhand that anybody does. I don't know that it's a very popular style. It's very
I've not heard of it,
acquired.
so.
I also can't, I think it might be I think it might be a lager, but it's a dark lager, a smoky dark lager. It's
That
dark
sounds
and it's
intriguing.
very smoky. That's what I know.
Do your homework,
Dark,
folks.
smoky
Rausch lagers.
Rausch.
I sound very technical and educated,
Rausch.
I swear.
Well, I mean, this is your business. I hope so.
And I'm
so.
already drinking, and you know,
Listen, you got catching up to do.
oy vey.
Right.
The Red Bull's waiting later.
The
on.
customers are gonna love me at 1
They are
o'clock.
gonna love you.
I'm gonna be right at 1 today instead of getting there at
I think I
1:45.
can't yet embrace the bitter trend of beers. I've had some friends that have had some bitters, and I tried them, and it's just, oh my god, it's beyond. Hits me in the back of the eyeballs. It's just not
Like what though? What do you mean? Like
like
bitter?
bitter. No, not sour. It's a bitter.
Sour is good. Bitter. I'm not-
Bitter. It's like I think who does one? It's a brown can. I want to say it's either Proclamation or Treehouse. It's a brown can. Old man and the something. And it's just terrible. It's just like it's bitter, like sour.
No disrespect intended.
No disrespect intended. Just
No,
the,
but that's just how it is. I mean,
like-
not everybody's gonna like every
like a
beer.
super
Exactly.
sour patch kid. Like more than sour. Just like oh god. And
I might like that.
you might like that. Yeah, I'm just not. Oh, I can't.
He's getting bitter in his old age.
That's fine.
So, okay, well, I guess we'll stick on the topic of least favorite. So,
Yeah, I'm
Costas,
curious.
go ahead.
Citra.
Yeah,
I
that's
know that.
Citra
I know
hops,
that
huh?
the entire craft world and craft industry loves Citra, but to me, no disrespect intended. Like I said, it tastes like licking a pine tree air freshener.
Have you done it often?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
From experience,
You know.
he knows.
After
Once
that,
once he's had several,
Lots of rest stops.
my mattress and box spring, yeah, and that 120, I lick a pine tree, and not good. There are certain types of there are certain styles or types of hops that Galaxy Mosaic I love. I have no problem with them. It's just that the whole double, triple, or
Quadruple's a bit much.
IPAs, I just could never get into that style, and it's just not for me.
And that's your favorite.
And
Yeah, that's one of my
exactly.
favorites.
And that's what brings us together. is that we
Exactly.
have different palettes. We
Yes.
have different styles that we like. You know, so what he loves, I don't, and what I like, he may not. So, and that's the whole range, the broad spectrum of beer and brewing in general that brings us all together. Because not everything is for everyone, but there's always something for everybody.
And that's just it. I mean, so again, back to me. I'm not a big IPA guy. Partly because, for the love of God, not every beer has to be an IPA, guys. You're brewing beers, I love you. You don't need to make every single one of an IPA. Please, there are other varieties.
A
out
New
there.
England IPA,
Okay,
though, I can get down with.
So, and that's just it. It goes back to the same thing. It's not that I completely dislike an IPA. If you hand me an IPA, I'm going to drink it. Why? Because it's beer and you just put it in front of me and I'm going to drink it. But in the same breath, you know, you start getting into those dipple, you know, the dippers, the
Trippers,
triples
yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's like, again, like Costa said, I don't want to be licking a pine tree. Okay?
But for some people, that's
Some people love it,
great.
and that's
I
just
like
it. They
licking
like
pine
the
trees.
bitter, they like the pine note, they like that, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Me, I'm okay with it. I'll have one. Again, there are certain hops that I do like, and it's not that I dislike hops, but certain ones are just too overpowering, and that's the only note you seem to get out of the beer. Is that you just get that strong pine resin.
It's a punch in the face.
Exactly. Now, again, it's not for me. Some folks love it. Great, good on you. Keep making them because we got to make the different styles. But for the love of God, not everyone needs to be
I love them.
IPA.
I love them. The triple lurk can be a little bit much though in the quads. It was one done by Proclamation in Long Live. It was a black can. It had a skeleton hand like going down like this, and it was, I forget the name of it, but it was so strong, so like oh my God, drinking it a little bit. It's a bit much for me. That and there's a certain, I don't know if it's the hop that they use or it's a malt, but West Coast style IPAs has a certain flavor to a lot of them, and it just hits me here. It's like immediately battery acid in my chest. It's like, oh my God, that's a little bit too much. But.
So we've been going, I think, more than long enough now. We've had some great conversations, some great topics come up, some great discussion, good beers as always. So Nicole, why don't you tell us a little bit of what you got on tap now, what you got coming, and let everybody know the hours they can come and enjoy beer.
Yes, absolutely. So we are coming up very soon, as you guys already mentioned, about the red, white, and blue. Because we're at the end of April now. So May, we released our strawberry blonde, and then all of a sudden we're into June. June always flies. So red, white, and blue for us means strawberry blonde, blueberry American wheat, and the white stout. So we always have that in time for 4th. But
If you haven't done it, you need to do that.
Do it.
because I really am, I'm very, very proud of our blueberry American wheat. I think the style, the base beer is perfect for the blueberry. It's delicious. I really am, I love our blueberry as well. And our strawberry blonde, as you guys already know, it's one of my favorites.
Insert patriotic music right now.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. We had to do that just in case we get that sound bite, right? But yeah, so we have the red, white, and blues coming up. We have, just coming up for next weekend, we have our Mexican hot chocolate.
Ooh.
So I brew that
Just in
once
time
a
for
year.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, exactly.
You're making a face, Joe. It's a good beer, dude. I'm telling you.
It's very, so it's kind of like, I understand, truly. All right, see, that's the thing. Everybody has their own ideas. But I always say, if somebody comes in and they're very hesitant, I'm like, listen, if you hate everything, I'm not going to make you pay for the tasting. But just taste it. Just do yourself and me a favor, please.
For sure.
You might surprise yourself. So, I challenge you to the same. The cameraman and you at home. I was pointing in that direction. I had to be like, both of you. Anyway, that one is, it's a little spicy with cinnamon, chocolate, lactose to give it a little extra sweetness. But that one's coming up. And we have all of our favorites too. Oatmeal raisin, Neapolitan brown ale is always on.
Have you ever had a beer that tastes like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry ice cream? If not, you need to come here and try
Come
it.
here, right here.
Right
Come
here.
here. Do it. Now you talk about we talked about breweries that aren't no more. You were telling us a little bit before the show. You might have something in your fridge.
Oh yes, I do.
Represents
I have to go grab it.
beer that's no more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab it. Well, this is the point that, right? Because you said you can cut and fix it.
Oh yeah, cut.
So Nicole could come and grab something special for us. Why don't you tell us what it is?
So, well, I was lucky enough to have a couple of my good friends, Amy and Jared. They took one last trip up to a Vermont brewery called Hermit Thrush, well known for their sours, that is no longer in operation. They have suddenly and sadly closed their doors. Nobody really knows, what happened. We're very thankful to be able to take one of the final sips of this beer that will ever be had. And I've not tried it yet, so I guess we're all gonna try it for the first time and kind of just do a little salute. It's extremely heartbreaking, as we were discussing before. Some people during COVID lost their businesses. Whenever any business, is no longer, it's
sad.
cringe, and my heart breaks, because I know what goes into mine, and what went into mine to build. And if something were to happen where it would be no longer, I know how I would be. So I really truly feel for anybody who
It's an emotional journey.
isn't here. So it is very emotional, and I would like to just share with
Cheers.
everybody as much as
That's right.
possible to at least so we know their legacy will always continue.
Yamas.
It smells so good.
Well, thank you
And
very much.
It's
for
a
doing
sour,
it. It
which
is-
all three of
Oh,
you love.
It is a fruited.
Very nice.
What is it again? It's a fruited
Yeah.
wild ale sour.
Wild yeast, fruited wild ale. Oh,
So this is no kettle sour.
This is
This is
Sour
not
sour.
your favorite
oh.
type that I
It is
asked
sour.
you guys about
Sour
earlier,
is-
but
It is a sour.
it is a true wild yeast that creates that sour flavor.
oh, it's so good.
I think this will be the last time.
Mm.
You know, it's a sad thing, but in the same breath, you know, hopefully we got others out there that'll celebrate it. Hopefully bring it back in their own way.
When
Keep
one
it
door
going.
closes, another door opens.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
Well, and they may have paved the way, They may have inspired. This is something, I don't know if you guys knew that, but the only thing they brewed was sours.
Oh, well.
So can you imagine, you have a business model where the only thing you brew is sours.
that's,
And for three people who love sours, I'm surprised you guys haven't traversed the earth to find your way there. I had heard about them because a lot of people that love sours always speak about them because again, that's just actually they had a really cool marketing line on their shirts because they were like that. Do you have anything except sours or whatever? And it said that's all we brew. I may be hacking that up, but I mean, it was a very cool angle and I liked it and I may be totally hacking it, but hopefully the spirit of what I'm trying to express is at least delivered in what I'm trying to say, which is just that, yeah, this place did nothing but sours. And sours are on the popularity rise, so anybody who would speculate that they closed just because that's all they did may or may not be true, actually.
Because they are
We
trending.
all just sat
They're
here,
trending
it's in
for-
all your top threes.
that's it. You know,
So
like,
it might not be the reason, who knows, I don't know.
Sure.
It's just sad that any business has to close, I mean, that's their livelihood and their passion, but
It's a dream.
Like the question of how many licks does it take to get to the center of Tootsie Pop, we may never know. So,
Yeah.
but on that note, we're not going to try and end on a completely sour note. See what I did there? We want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Again,
Thank you
Nicole
very
and Crooked Current, we're at 560 Mineral Spring Ave in North Providence. If you haven't been out here yet, shame on you, get on out here. Again, I'm Ed.
Nicole,
Buddy,
Cautious.
We are Three Dudes Brews. Thank you for
Cheers.
your time. Cheers and
cheers.
drink
You can
local, folks.
Find us at A Van Down by the River Podcast, avandownbytheriverpodcast.com for all of our other podcast opportunities.
Until next time.
Drink local.
Can I get you guys to look this over really quick? Thank you.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoyed the show. It was a really good time down at Crooked Current Brewery. We had a good time drinking her beer. The beer that you didn't have while we were down there is chocolate. Was it a Mexican chocolate? What is
Yeah,
it?
the Mexican hot chocolate.
It's so good. Nice dark chocolate, rich in your mouth, burning a little bit down your throat, but not too bad. Very subtle, very nice, very delicious. Check her out. Check us out next month as we join you live from Smug Brewery, also in the lovely city of Pawtucket. Where we'll talk to their brewmaster and do the same, drink their beers and have a good time. Check out all of our stuff on the Van Down by the River podcast. You can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on YouTube, Twitch. We're on that.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Drink some good beers. Have a good time. Drive safe. Always have that designated driver, as we do when we go out and consume lots of ales. And for Costa Sangaruli, for Ed Pat
Pat Nod.
Nod, I'm Buddy Thayer, and this is